Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Samri.
Welcome to the
Chopsticks
Chopsticks
and
and Fork
Fork,
Please
please.
podcast. Woo!
Welcome.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about tips and tricks to keeping your relationship. And I feel like even though, some people might say that we haven't been together that long, but like 5+ years roughly,
Around 6 years.
around 6 years, we haven't murdered each other, So that's that. I think we're in a position.
We survived the pandemic.
Yeah, we survived COVID, which was apparently like the biggest relationship killer for like a lot of people.
Yep.
And I think like even to this day, we still kind of like learn things to, like make like our relationship better. And like communication is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I've been kind of like doing is like I've just been saying like vibe check.
Yeah.
Like
Because there's more to communication than just saying, oh, communicate.
yeah, besides just talking to each other, like we'll be talking and then we'll talk on a subject. And then like maybe like a couple minutes after the subject, I just kind of ask you, like, okay, hey, what's your vibe right now? Like, how are you feeling right now? Like, kind of like, I mean, it takes like, I guess like for me, it takes being sensitive to your emotions.
Yeah.
Your
Because
emotional
I
state.
tend to shut down.
Yeah, you tend to. Yeah,
yeah.
you tend to like shut down and like I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah. And I stopped communicating.
Yeah. So I have to be like, okay, how are you? Like, it is also for me, like, vibes, like, okay, we're gonna change the topics and talk about something else too. Like, oh, hey, like, how are you feeling? Like,
Yeah.
how did that conversation, like, like, affect you?
Yeah.
Right?
It's something that I really appreciate,
Yeah,
actually.
it's like a reset for me. Like, it's also like a reset for me too. Like like whatever my emotional state is at the time.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, let's just reset. Reset the conversation. Maybe we were arguing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we had a disagreement on something, but then like afterwards, it's like, okay, vibe check. How are you feeling?
Yeah, because usually I started shutting down, I guess, historically when I was a kid. And, as kids, we usually don't have control over what happens to us or, like usually the grown-ups have the last word.
Last say, yeah.
And whatever you feel, it doesn't matter. Like, no one cared to ask me what I was feeling. You just do what you're told and you're seen and not heard and all that BS.
Yeah.
But whatever happens to you during childhood, it affects your adulthood too. Because I'm in almost my mid-30s now.
Yeah.
But I can still, like, whenever I'm mindful about my emotions and what, like, the root cause of it, it usually stems from childhood. So, but yeah, that's when it started. I would just, like, stop talking, interacting with anyone, and just, like, go over whatever my quote-unquote mistake was.
Yeah.
And I would try not to do it again. But, that's kind of, like the adults punish you and then you punish yourself even harder.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to just speak out whatever it is bugging you. Because, you're an adult now and you are in a relationship that you choose to be in versus when you were a kid, you were born into a situation where you didn't choose it.
Yeah. I actually usually ask for like vibe checks when I like talk to people online.
Oh, okay.
Just because like when you're on a voice call and like not even like you don't have any face, like if you're not using cameras or anything like that, you're just like talking audio only. You can't see physical reactions, so it's like sometimes it's good to be like, hey, how are you feeling? How are you checking in?
Oh, okay.
When you're talking about something, it's like, oh, hey, how are you feeling? Like vibe check. What's a vibe check? What's the room vibe?
And people express themselves?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, hey, how people doing? People like, it could just even be like, oh, you need to go to the bathroom break, or you go to use the bathroom. it's just like it could be more than just like vibe. It could just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and like use a bathroom. I'll be back.
Or you're tired.
Yeah,
so
you're tired. Yeah, yeah.
you want the game to end or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, something like that.
Okay. What else? I'm not wearing my glasses.
Let's see. We've been discussing how to do grocery shopping today.
Oh yeah.
Because you've been doing a lot of different food cuts or
high tastes.
you have high tastes and
Expensive tastes.
patrician tastes, I'd say. You like eating super organic whole foods stuff, and I'm like, I am neutral on organic foods, but I will buy produce. You know, I buy produce, but I won't necessarily buy organic produce.
Yeah, that's not one of your values or one of the things that you put into high consideration for your whenever you do your grocery shopping. And also, yeah, it was a discussion we had where I was starting to shut down too.
Yeah.
And you were like, vibe check.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, we need to have some kind of strategy for grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So that, like, one person is not feeling like, oh, you don't contribute enough, or, oh, you only buy, because you said I only buy stuff that I want, which is the expensive, fancy, vegan stuff, like the non-dairy yogurt and the all these weird snacks that cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they
I
cost a
usually go
lot of
to
money.
Trader Joe's
Your grocery bill is usually like double my grocery bill with like half the food.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like I can spend as much as you can, but usually it involves me going to Costco and like buying like big supply amount, like a big giant supply.
I don't like going to Costco.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite grocery store.
That also
chain.
adds to like certain resentments too. I was like, you're not even going to Costco with me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I really like going there always gives me nausea.
Yeah.
Like I get this like low grade headache whenever I just walk there, and there's too many people with their whole freaking family there. It's like a family trip for people.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it, it's too many. Like, yeah, all the worst things about
Grocery shopping.
society in one place.
Yeah.
Like these tall ceilings. There's no like natural thing about it, you know?
Yeah, it's a warehouse.
It's a warehouse, and it's the opposite of how people used to shop. How our parents, how our grandparents and older, how our ancestors shopped in old cultures. It was open air market.
Yeah.
Even if there's a ceiling, there's open, like door and like you can see outside.
But the deals, babe, the like efficient usage of our income.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who love Costco.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, like buying, those avocados? The Costco has like the best prices on avocados.
But they're not organic.
Yeah.
And they're big, like unnaturally big.
Yeah, you get more food out of the $1.50 that we have to pay for each avocado. Yeah, for a lot of like vegetables and food like that, like with organic food, what really only changes is like taste, right? Because like nutritionally, same thing.
You think so? Even if it's not organic?
The research has been done. They have the same amount of like actual nutrition per fruit for organics. Organic food doesn't have more nutrition into it. It has the same amount, maybe even less actually, because GMO sometimes they add extra nutrition. But what organic does is that like it might taste better, right?
Mm-hmm.
In certain cases, in like some fruits, you can't tell a difference of whether it's organically grown or not, like bananas. Um,
Well,
also, organics are like only giant companies can actually do organic because they have like the organic industry's like messed up in terms of like what's considered organic. Like a lot of small farmers can't actually put the organic label on their produce.
why not?
Because, for example, certain things like adding antibiotics or like adding certain thing or like even adding like natural pesticides can remove the organic label. I know for like organic like milk, for example, if they treat the fences with stuff so that the cows don't eat the fences, that removes the organic label on the cow. You know, or using like antibiotics on the animals, for example,
When they get sick.
like when they get sick, and
So big companies can just
tank any losses.
like they just kill the sick.
Yeah,
animals.
like they can or like they can afford to like take these like heavy loss, like like the loss industry, but like a small farmer can't, right? I would trust like a small farmer that's using like pesticides, if it's grown locally. I'm more because a lot of vegetables, like organic, for example, that's not local. And also sometimes your produce, this organic produce comes from like overseas.
Oh.
Yeah, like a lot of organic food, it just comes
They're
from
imported?
overseas. They're just imported.
Like the bananas, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like, and that doesn't actually like that. I don't even think that's even like better than just buying. Like, I'm more for buying local.
Local, yeah.
Yeah.
You support the local economy.
Yeah, and that may or may not be organic, right? But like a lot of times, organic is a label used by like big companies to like just charge you extra, right?
Yeah, and the whole like free range chicken.
Yeah, free range
also
is
a
like
trap.
yeah, free range is also a trap,
Because like they give them an extra foot
Yeah.
and they call it free range.
Yeah, so I usually just like go for price, but like I'll just buy the produce, I'll just buy produce, right? Like I'm just gonna buy.
So I guess I'm limiting myself by.
Yeah. There are like for example, and for GMOs, like genetically modified, like
organisms.
yeah, GMOs, like I think it's like pretty cool science too. Like they use GMOs to make things immune to diseases. We literally like GMOs have made like certain fruits or some certain like crops just like disease proof, right? Which like I think the giving people the capability to feed others is more important.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Like if for example if we converted all farms to be organic farms, we're going to hit the reality that we would not be able to feed all of the U.S. Right?
Or the world, actually.
Or the world, yeah.
Because the U.S.
Yeah.
feeds the world.
Yeah, the U.S. feeds the world. So
and like Ethiopia, because my aunt on my mom's side, she's an agrometeorologist, so she predicts the weather for, to prevent famines and stuff. That stereotypical big belly flies all over.
Yeah.
That happens a lot to this day in Ethiopia. And if they use pesticides, if they have access to those chemicals, they would be able to prevent starvation. But I'm guessing it's like something they would have to import, and there's like politics and drama about
importing.
Customs.
I know that like sending over GMO seeds that are resistant to certain insects is much cheaper than sending over chemicals for pesticides.
Oh.
Sending over the seeds.
Oh, but
then the warlords get. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because like if if the US sends over GMO seeds,
Yeah.
they own that crop.
Yeah.
They can say, okay, you can't grow this crop anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, you have to export most of it to us at a loss.
Oh, okay.
So like, even if they grow it,
Yeah.
the people are not gonna get most of
You know,
it.
they probably do that stuff with organic foods too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can say, hey, this was grown organically. Yeah, on the blood and sweat of children. Organic fertilizer. No, that's bad.
Oh no! That got deep
That
and
got
dark.
That got real dark. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, at least for the Western countries, I think, you know, you're right about the whole GMO thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, eat local where you can, you know. I think, like, local's probably going to be your best bet.
Or just say growing in your own garden.
Yeah.
It tastes great.
Yeah.
And it's good for your mental
I think maybe
state.
I think like specific fertilizers are probably affected by, like, the organic labels affected by certain fertilizers too. You know? So yeah, like there's a lot that like goes into organics where like most small farmers I don't think can even like actually use the organic label. They'll say locally produced instead of organic.
Oh, okay. So that's one way to like go against the industry.
Yeah.
The big corporations.
And like we're also like, you know, you might ask us, why don't we use just like what was it? Like food plant, like, you know, like food plants.
Oh, the co-ops?
Like or there's like co-ops, there's imperfect foods. I did that. I think it was kind of overpriced, and here's the thing: if you really want to use imperfect food, like, you know, like go to a more sustainable grocery store that like doesn't do, you know, that if you want to consume more imperfect foods and are okay with like jank looking imperfect foods, go to an ethnic grocery store. Go to an ethnic grocery store. Just buy from them. It's usually half the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like partially rotten too.
Yeah, but that's what you're getting from imperfect food stuff, like imperfect foods, right?
No.
Yeah,
it's not rotten.
We've gotten some stuff that like was
really?
not good. Yeah, from imperfect
I kind of.
foods.
All I remember, so basically,
you never cooked.
Food,
you never
true,
cooked.
So imperfect food is like they deliver
stuff that would have been
veggies that would have been thrown out by like big grocery chains because they don't look perfect.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They don't actually throw away the food. It usually gets sent to stuff like that gets sent to like food production companies. So a lot of the imperfect foods are used in like your processed foods, like your microwavable foods or like other foods. Like those companies use imperfect foods.
So things where there's diced up or mixed together, you don't know what the shape is.
Yeah, you didn't know what that shape was, right?
I mean that's good.
Yeah, and like, you know, ethnic grocery stores usually will take the imperfect foods, right? Like, and you know, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to buy your imperfect foods at a premium. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a brilliant plan for the company.
That company is hustling you hard.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's
or
also
food plans. You mentioned.
food plans. I don't like food plans because I don't like the taste.
Yeah. It doesn't taste great.
It just doesn't taste good. You know.
It tastes like plastic.
Yeah, like I cook, you know, so like I can make better food.
Yeah.
You know.
Sam makes his own spice blends.
Yeah, I make my own spice blends. I know how to cook, and I guess like that is another thing. Is like if you really like health and like and saving money on food really involves you cooking.
Yeah, because usually since I don't cook, I like in the past, or I guess in the near past, I used to just like buy Trader Joe's packets, you know,
Packet
like
meals?
where and just like microwave them.
Mm-hmm.
But microwaving is not healthy either. I don't know the science with microwaves,
Yeah,
but
it's more just like, you know, you're eating like highly
foods.
processed foods.
Yeah. And also, if you don't, and I also avoid spicing the food,
Yeah, you
or
avoid
putting
seasoning or seasoning
salt.
out. Yeah, like
Because my mom is deathly like, you know, against salt,
Yeah.
and I was programmed
Mm-hmm.
to not use salt,
Yeah.
which makes food taste horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this tastes bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you know, most veggies don't taste good unless you
There was
spice
also like other things too that you did not do, like you did not preheat anything. You did not preheat the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time you would mention like, oh, when I cook something, it turns out dry. Because like you would cook it for like, you would set the timer or something like that. And then, but you didn't take into account like you needed to preheat the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And also you just left stuff in the oven for like forever.
Yeah, because I forgot about it.
Yeah. You know, so like, it's like, of course it's going to be dry if you like don't like take it out of the oven when you need to.
Yeah. Dry or just, yeah, like if I don't spice it or preheat the oven before roasting or baking or whatever.
And also just to say, your mom does not cook either.
Yeah. I didn't learn how to cook. Like, when I was in Ethiopia, like there were maids who did that.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to.
Yeah.
It was a whole like standard of living that the family wanted to maintain, no matter how much it costs, because it costs quite a bit to have someone live in your house. You need to supply a whole bedroom for them. Yeah. Their meal, everything you have to supply. But my aunts and uncles, they insisted on having that standard of living, or like being seen by others as being rich enough, quote unquote, even though we didn't have enough money. Yeah. We still, like, they prioritized how the community saw them. They wanted to maintain that view. Yeah. Which meant that the kids didn't learn how to cook because we didn't get, like, we were actively dissuaded from even being in the kitchen. Yeah. During the cooking process. And their reasoning was also, okay, we don't want you to inhale the smoke, because they used open fire and charcoal and petroleum stuff. Yeah. Like, which, you know, like produces all this carbon monoxide and all that bad stuff. So I understand that part. And also, you know, other than the whole, you know, maintaining the lifestyle of having a servant in your house, there was also like cooking was considered like on a lower what someone of a lower status would do, you know? Yeah. Like, and then,
which is funny, which is hilarious, because your family was poor. Yeah. Right? Your family was super poor.
They didn't make enough, but they still wanted to maintain that illusion for everyone.
Everyone, and even in America, that sort of attitude is like looked down. You know, that sort of attitude is
That's
like
true.
Not exactly good. You
know? I mean, plus in America, like after slavery, people couldn't afford freaking low wage people living in your house and cooking for you. I don't think people can afford housemaids anymore in Ethiopia, but yeah, that's the present. That was 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, like I know how to cook. My family cooked. My dad was actually the one who liked to cook a lot. He cooked when he was like a kid too, because he like in his school he grew up in like a monastery. So like they had to cook for like a bunch of people.
Oh, okay.
So he knew how to cook. there was also times like, you know, when I graduated from college and I got my first job, we worked at the same company, so we carpool. And we would just talk about food for like our 40-minute commute
Oh,
or
okay.
45-minute commute, and we'd just be like, oh, we're hungry. Okay, let's figure out what we want to eat.
Oh, okay. So you didn't eat out. You would
No.
just cook everything.
No. We would eat out for lunch occasionally, though. Like, you know, we were like, hey, let's eat out or something like that.
So you hanged out with your dad the whole time?
Not the whole time, no. But like, you know, just like occasionally. Like some lunches I wouldn't talk to my dad. I wouldn't like hang out with my dad.
Oh,
Or like, you know, but like
that's so interesting. Like,
but
I've
like sometimes
never-
we're just like, hey, do you want to eat lunch together? It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, cause like, yeah, I've never worked with a family member.
Yeah, we didn't work
I don't know
in
what
we didn't
it's
work
like.
in the same team. We did not work. We were actually physically on the opposite sides of the building.
Okay.
So we did not interact with each other. And there's like rules about like family working to each other. So like even if we worked together, we would not be allowed to work on the same team.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we would check it out. We would like kind of like check things out, right? We would you know, we would talk about food, and then you know.
So did you plan your grocery trips together?
No.
Or
No, my dad just like did the grocery shop. My parents did the grocery shoppings. When I moved out, you know, when I moved on my own, that's when I had to like pay attention to groceries.
so when you lived with your parents, did you cook or?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I helped out once in a while. But I didn't really cook. I cooked rice, but that's not too much, you know. Like like sometimes it'd be like, oh, I'm home, and then my parents aren't home, and they're like, hey, cook the rice.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Oh, speaking of
That was a chore. That was my high school chore. It was like
Oh.
cooking rice.
and doing the dishes.
Yeah, and doing the dishes.
Okay. But like they would teach you the basics of
Yeah,
cooking.
they taught me the basics. Like
Yeah.
I learned how to fry you know, I learned how to fry an egg. You know, learned how to make scrambled eggs. I also took I would take cooking classes in school too, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I like cook, like, you know, like my family likes cooking. I think it's a nice skill to have.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let me just take these cooking classes in high school.
Yeah.
And like that kind of laid a foundation, and like, you know, added foundation from my parents.
Because also another thing of my mom's family discouraging us from cooking was, okay, you need to focus on studying.
Yeah.
So, oh, I want to make injera. No, study. Did
Yeah.
you finish your homeworks? Oh,
That-
you're done? Then study.
Yeah, you know, that like kills like cultural knowledge too. If you don't like, when you don't learn how to do these sorts of things, right? It kills a lot of traditional foods that were
Yeah.
like in your family that like you won't be passed down on like the.
There's no traditional
Yeah.
food in my family.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my grandma cooked.
Yeah.
She knew how to cook, but then she didn't pass it on to her kids because they had to choose. Like, most of the girls at that time, like, let's say 40 plus years ago or 50 plus years ago, they were raised to be good cooks and good moms,
Yeah.
so they could have kids as soon as they can.
You know what? In my household, that it was like you had to learn how to cook and you had to get good grades. It's like, oh, there's like you have to be good. Essentially, it's just like, oh, you need to cook, you need to clean, you need to also get good grades. You know.
So they didn't think that like you spending time cooking and cleaning takes away from studying.
No, because they needed help. They wanted the labor of having children. They wanted to use the labor of having children to like help out around the house. Right.
Yeah, I guess as far as in Ethiopia, they had to go the opposite extreme direction
Yeah.
from the rest of society, so that the girls especially would have the self-esteem, the education to be able to, because like my mom's side of the family is very like
Wild.
avant-garde, and yeah, it is wild.
So wild.
But like from my perspective, just like
It's normal.
living,
Yeah,
it's normal.
yeah.
Because, like, I thought it's, because, like, my aunts and uncles, they, or I guess, like, let me specifically talk about my aunts, because they were the ones who had to, like, break tradition extremely
Yeah.
by going to school, finishing high school, graduating, getting good grades, focused on getting a post-secondary education. They all have, good careers like medicine, computer science, meteorology.
Yeah.
But then they pay no attention to how they look.
How they live.
They don't know how to do their hair. They don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
They don't know how to shop for clothes or shoes. They don't do their makeup. I mean, the most makeup they do is put on lipstick.
Yeah.
That's like the most. They don't, like nothing. So, like, all that quote unquote feminine education wasn't passed down to me.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to teach myself through watching YouTube videos. And for a lot of the things, okay, I didn't tell you this because I was kind of upset. But at work, the store manager, it was like, I told you about the Cookie Monster beanie that I was wearing.
Yeah.
But then, now talking about how I didn't get all that education as a kid, I was thinking, that's probably why. Because, like, I have no sense of fashion. So, like, I would wear the weirdest stuff in, like, the weirdest location. Yeah. And, like, it triggered me. So the Cookie Monster, and then she had my manager talk to me about elevating my wardrobe to work at a retail shop, and I'm like, why? Because, like, for me, why does it matter what I look like as long as the job gets done and the clothes are on the floor?
I think they're like, once again, like, that's true, but there's also some things, because I remember when I first dated you wore some wild stuff.
Yeah.
You wore some wild stuff. So
I still do. Oh, and I guess, like, after getting that, the manager talking to me, I was like, shoot, what am I going to wear to work now?
Yeah.
Because most of my stuff is like t-shirts and hoodies and sweatpants.
Yeah.
So, but I also don't want to spend money that I don't have to buy clothes that are fancy.
You have like good outfit. You have good outfits. We've like gone shopping in the past before too.
Yeah. But the Prairie Underground pants, they thought it wasn't appropriate enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
That's also what upset me.
Okay.
They thought it looked like leggings, and I'm like, it's jeans.
Yeah.
And it's very form-fitting. I think that's why they said that, because I had the same kind of feedback from my corporate job. Oh, okay. Which triggered me even more. Yeah. I'm like, what is it about this jeans?
Too form-fitting. The like corporate can't handle the power of your amazing thighs.
Yeah, they like that's the passive aggressiveness of it's usually like women managers who like suppress the expression of Black women. But in any case, I kind of went on a tangent. Yeah. But talking about like going against society's like programming about like being a good mom or learning how to cook and clean and all that stuff, you kind of go the opposite direction of like not knowing how to dress. Yeah. So you just need to find a balance.
Yeah, I had to learn how to like, because like one thing is just like, oh yeah, at some point I had to move out. At some point you have to move out of the house, right?
Yeah.
And you like in today's culture, probably like maybe you have roommates. But your roommates aren't gonna cook for each other, so you gotta cook for yourself.
They're not even gonna clean.
Yeah, they're not even gonna clean, right? You gotta figure out how to open that can of beans and then put it on a pan and then jiggle it around with a wooden spoon and add salt and spices to it.
Yeah.
Like you gotta do that. You have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and unless you want to eat out all the time, but even now it's like fast food is expensive, right? You go to McDonald's and like you gotta spend like $15 for like a meal at McDonald's nowadays.
Oh, really?
It's crazy expensive.
It's been a while since I've.
Yeah, like if you go to like fast food places, like it's so expensive. It's so expensive now. It's like a luxury. It's almost like luxury food.
Did the portion sizes get smaller? Is that what happened?
The portion sizes are smaller too. Right, but they are nutritionally dense. But then you're still hungry. You're hungry still. Like a cheeseburger, like a Big Mac is gonna be like 12,000 calories, like 1,000 calories or something like that.
But yeah.
But like
they add sugar to it.
Yeah, they add a lot of stuff to it.
Yeah, which makes you feel hungry.
Yeah.
And that's the design of it.
That's the design of it.
They have food scientists that all their work is to make you want to eat more.
And it's super palatable. They make it super palatable. Like literally anyone can eat McDonald's and like enjoy it. Because it is chemically down to a very science made to be addicting.
Yeah,
and
I mean it's brilliant.
Yeah. Because like I know like I've met the pickiest of eaters, and they will still be able to eat McDonald's, right?
I mean, I don't know how healthy it is. It's not.
It's not healthy.
You said it's nutritionally dense, but it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. No, it's like it has like all your calories and your protein.
Oh, okay.
Protein and like stuff like that. Like you get nutrition out of it. But like it's like you'd have to do so much to be able to burn it off, right? Like someone was like, I'm going like there's YouTube videos of like I'm gonna eat only fast food but also work out to the point where I can burn it off. And they essentially have to work spend every waking minute working out to burn off like.
I think it's called. There was a documentary.
Yeah, they're
right?
like Super Size Me.
Yeah, Super Size Me.
But like I see stuff online like people like actively trying to physically work out off all the calories, and it's like you gotta be like running for like 3 hours or 3 to 4 hours to burn off like a Big Mac or something like that.
So it's not worth the calories. Like
yeah, it's not worth the calories. You don't actually get to eat as much food for the calories you eat.
Do they feel full or
it's
just
not as much food, so like sometimes you're like, I'm still kind of hungry.
Yeah. Okay.
You're still kind of hungry and you kind of want to eat more.
Yeah. Oh, and also another thing about communication that we figured out, because when you're in a relationship, you have to study yourself, how you are, how you interact with others, and you have to study your partner.
Yeah.
How they communicate. So that you find a good balance between you two.
Yeah. And
you can interact and not hate each
I
other.
remember there is one thing that I know is a bit different between the both of us. When I say, hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
I usually mean, hey, can you do this right now?
Right now, yeah.
Because like if I could do it right now, I would be doing it right now, but I can't actually do it right now.
Yeah, that's the thing that I figured out very recently.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so when you ask me to do things, you mean right now, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, when I ask you to do things, I mean, I
Later.
assume that you would do it like when you have the time.
Yeah, but that's why I always get kind of a little like annoyed because I'm like, oh, I gotta drop this and then like do
Oh.
that, you know, like,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because I grew up where like when I was told to do something, it meant I should have done it 10 minutes ago. Right? They're telling me because like I should have done it before and they need it done like 10 minutes prior.
Okay, you should have known.
Yeah, like they're more being like you should have known, and they're more annoyed that they had to tell me. And I think that's how it kind of comes off as for me too, right? I'm just like, hey, can you do that? You know, like I try. Usually it's like I'm usually like, okay, I need you to do something though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
just like, here, just do it right now.
The thing about me is people have to be explicit.
Yeah.
They have to be like, okay, do this, this, this in this order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if I'm cooking,
Yeah.
I have to be told preheat the oven,
Yeah.
salt the fish.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of things do you want on it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also, do you want me to pat the fish to get rid of the moisture
Yeah.
before I put it on? You know, like all these details
Yeah.
matter for me.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, like for you, you would tell me, yeah, can you cook the mackerel? And I'm like, oh, I would just like take it out of the plastic, just put it in the toaster oven.
Here's the thing. The reason why I'm very vague about it now is because you've done it enough that you're like, you should know how to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I would revert back to,
Yeah.
or actually, no, not reverting. So you told me to roast broccoli
Yeah.
because you went to work.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I knew enough to do it right away because
Yeah.
I was like doing some other
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. This is like the reason we had to be specific about it.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, when I was like, hey, like, can you cook this? You
Yeah.
know? Because I physically cannot do that.
Yeah.
And I am heading home. And I would like for it to be like ready, like, well, by the time I get, you know,
Yeah.
I get home. The deadline is before I get home if it's like I'm at work.
But you tasted it and it wasn't spiced.
It wasn't like seasoned or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
Really?
I kind of had a feeling that was the case.
Something was going to be missing.
Yeah, like, you know, like I don't want to like baby you all the time, you know, because like if I like do spell it out a lot of times, that can be considered like mansplaining, you know.
For me,
Or-
I don't consider it mansplaining.
Yeah.
Like, I would consider it mansplaining if some other man tells me the details. I mean, even that, if it's like at a work,
Yeah.
I appreciate details.
Yeah.
I don't think about, oh, he's mansplaining right now. Because women can also explain things. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is women's splaining or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I understand why you would feel like that, because most women these days would think, oh, he's mansplaining.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've been mansplained too. I'm like, this is the most infuriating thing ever.
So you don't appreciate being told the details.
No, not really.
Okay. So that's also another thing. The difference between us
Yeah.
is, okay, when I tell you to do things, you understand it as like, oh, okay, drop everything I'm doing, even if it's like some other thing that's important, like folding the clothes. You feel like, oh, I have to do it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I
I should have anticipated her
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
and done it a
10
long
minutes.
time ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then versus, and also on top of like feeling like you have to be perfect and anticipate things, you feel like, oh, if they feel the need to explain the details, or maybe they think
I'm done.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, pretty much.
That, like, so for the audience, this is an example of working with your partner
Yeah.
to know the details of how their mind works, how they were raised, you know, and then you can like before you ask your partner if they require more details, you can provide it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm mansplaining or
Yeah,
womansplaining, right?
Mm.
And that way, things will go smoother.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
And Worf
Dog.
has grown to be 38 pounds.
Yeah, 38 pounds. We weighed him. We finally weighed him at the vet, last vet visit. Yeah, he's like 38 pounds. So big. He's getting bigger. He's getting bigger. He's not like super big. Like like I've seen bigger dogs, right?
But I didn't think he would get heavier, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought he was done growing.
Okay. I think he's still growing. I think he's done growing like height wise, but he's like he's gonna get like thicker. I feel
like muscle,
like more muscle. Yeah. He's a teenager, so he gets that awkward lanky teenager look. Like feeling. Well, he's a pretty good like sleek. He's pretty sleek right now. I think he's like a good like sleekness. There's a lot of people who have fat dogs.
You say fat with the I don't know. It has some kind of emotion behind it.
I think dogs like I mean humans have a hard time like like can bulk up too, right? But I think dogs are creatures that like they really shouldn't be fat. Like they really should like there's like like I'm not saying like a human can't be fat, right? But I think a dog isn't really made to be fat. Right?
You feel it's unnatural?
Yeah, like because dogs need to move around. Dogs need to move around. They need to go outside to like function, to like function, right?
Yeah, or they get anxious and
yeah, they get anxious, they get destructive. You need to bring that dog on like a daily, like on a daily walk.
Twice a day.
Yeah, twice a day. I think that's more that like yeah, like personally for me like twice a day. Not everyone can do that though, so I'm not gonna like judge if you can't.
Yeah.
But like, if you're having a dog, you need to at least walk the dog. Plus it lets their dog use the bathroom outside of your home. Like Worf will actually like wait to like poop until like he is like out on the walk. Worf consistently poops and pees like on the walk.
Yeah, I guess. From what you told me from his walk today,
he starts marking.
Marking,
yeah, he started
which
marking.
is a big milestone, right?
Big milestone. Fortunately, he doesn't mark inside the house.
That would be,
Yeah, the dogs will do that if they're always inside. If they're always inside, they will start marking inside the house.
So is it like a switch in their brain that's like, oh, start marking territory? Blah,
I think
blah.
so, yeah. Like, I think they get that context clues from, like, sniffing around. They're like, oh, hey, like, other dogs start marking, I mean, Worf also just sees, like, our neighbor's dog, like, mark as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think he sees it,
The neighbor's dog is a big,
yeah,
lanky dog. Muscly
dog. He's a buff dog.
Yeah, buff dog that does not like other dogs.
Yeah. Although they seem to be getting along better now. They seem to be getting along better.
I've never seen that Kai
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah, I haven't seen him actually walking around because like there's a big like yard for him to like run around in.
Yeah, it's fenced in. And...
yeah, it's fenced in.
Wait, is it?
I think so, yeah. I think they share an area with the neighbors.
Yeah, there's
like,
space where he can go, but I think he understands.
I think he's okay with like the neighbors and stuff like that there too.
Yeah, because our neighbors, they don't explicitly have like a fence. They have. They grow trees.
Yeah, they grow trees.
That's considered a fence because people.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I think his dog is like fine. I like to take Worf out on the walk because I think it's more fun for him to like see the neighborhood.
It's more fun for him, not for us.
Yeah. Well, I like going on the walk now.
At the end of his walk.
Oh, at the end of the walk is kind of annoying. Oh, he saw a cat for the first time today, like up close.
Oh, he's never seen a cat before?
I I don't think so. Or at least one that close up where he's just like, whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. He's seen cats. He's seen them at the vet.
Oh, interesting.
But he saw a cat like on like our neighbor's yard, and he was like, whoa.
Oh, really?
There's a house on our walk that has chickens too. So he's like, whoa, what is this? You know, like he's like, whoa, and he just wants to like check it out, like go around the fence. I like let him too. I says, okay, yeah, I can take a closer look at these chickens.
I'm sure the owners are used to dogs like being curious.
Yeah. But yeah, like Worf will sniff around. He gets like a lot of sniffing involved, which like it's kind of like their entertainment too. It like, you know, it gives them mental stimulation.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can mentally stimulate your dog too.
Yeah. Let them interact with other dogs.
Yeah.
Let them see other creatures other than humans.
Yeah. Let them sniff out. I mean, it's true with humans too, but like, you know, like socialization helps them out a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I think that's a good spot to end it off at.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, for watching on
Let us
YouTube.
know if you've learned anything new.
Yeah. Leave a comment.
What you want to hear.
Yeah. Maybe put in your own relationship advice down in the comments. And yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.